Welcome to Hong Kong Brief. The content of the briefing includes: Hong Kong holds first council elections under new rules that shut out pro-democracy candidates. Hong Kong seeks to boost turnout in Patriots-only election. Adani bond rebound helps erase short seller hit, Credit Weekly. Time to exercise your right and vote for a better Hong Kong. How we discovered the hidden gem, the super app that influences Chinese-speaking diaspora. Hong Kong holds first council elections under new rules that shut out pro-democracy candidates. Bloomberg. Voters in Hong Kong went to the polls on Sunday for the first district council elections since the electoral system was overhauled to exclude pro-democracy candidates. Turnout is expected to be significantly lower than in the last elections due to the elimination of most directly elected seats. The elections are seen as a test of public sentiment towards the Patriots-only system imposed by Beijing following the 2019 protests. Beijing has increasingly eroded Hong Kong's Western-style liberties, most notably with the imposition of a national security law that has led to the arrest of pro-democracy activists. Hong Kong seeks to boost turnout in Patriots-only election. Yahoo! Hong Kong is holding its first Patriots-only district elections, in which pro-democracy candidates have been effectively barred from running due to national security background checks and requirements for nominations from pro-government committees. The changes, which follow the introduction of a 2020 national security law, have further restricted electoral freedoms in the city. The pro-China government has sought to boost turnout, with some observers predicting that large numbers will boycott the polls. The previous district council elections in 2019 saw a record 71% turnout and a landslide victory for the Democratic camp. Adani bond rebound helps erase short seller hit, Credit Weekly. Bloomberg. Dollar bonds tied to the conglomerate of Indian billionaire Gautam Adani have rebounded, erasing some of the losses incurred following allegations of fraud by short seller Hindenburg Research. Adani has strenuously denied the allegations and has raised $1.4 billion for a renewables project and published a blueprint for refinancing a solar energy unit's $750 million bond, which matures in September. The rebound suggests the conglomerate is finding favor with investors again, despite the ongoing investigation by the Securities and Exchange Board of India into the allegations. Time to exercise your right and vote for a better Hong Kong. SCMP opinion. Hong Kong is holding district council elections on Sunday under the Patriots-only electoral principle imposed by Beijing. The government has launched campaigns to encourage people to vote, as the turnout is expected to be lower than the previous district council election. Some moderate Democrats and Beijing-friendly candidates were unable to secure enough nominations, which may further dampen voter incentive. Despite the government's efforts, there are concerns that the turnout may still be low. The revamp of the electoral system, which aims to screen out those who pose a threat to national security, has given voters another dimension to consider. However, a high voter turnout is important for the city's district administration. How we discovered the hidden gem, the super app that influences Chinese-speaking diaspora. ABC. The Chinese super app Red, known as Xiaohongshu, has emerged as China's leading lifestyle platform and is rapidly gaining popularity among Chinese-speaking communities worldwide. Red has over 300 million users, including 2 million in Southeast Asia alone, with multiple functions for socializing, shopping, and internet searches. The app has become the go-to platform for the Chinese-speaking diaspora, influencing their opinions on a range of topics such as tourism, coffee shops, and political referendums. Red has gone largely unnoticed by Western society, but an expert has warned that authorities should pay closer attention, as misinformation has been detected on the app. The app uses a radical algorithm to feed content to users based on their previous engagement, creating a loyal user base. Red's impact on Chinese diaspora communities may have been overlooked by Western society, according to one expert. Red's content is diverse, but it also has a downside, as misinformation can spread on the platform. Unlike other social media apps, Red has a single model and does not have alternative interfaces for Chinese and international users, meaning problematic content is going unnoticed by English-speaking authorities. Bamboo is a welcome alternative to plastic. SCMP opinion. China has launched a 3-year action plan to promote the use of bamboo as a viable alternative to plastic. The plan aims to develop an industrial system for bamboo resources, process materials derived from bamboo, and expand the use of bamboo substitutes. The economic benefits are significant, with authorities predicting that the output value of the bamboo industry could surpass 1 trillion Chinese yuan, $142 billion, by 2035. China has previously taken steps to reduce plastic consumption, including banning single-use plastic bags in 2008 and non-degradable bags in hotels more recently. However, plastic bags remain common in wet markets. Canadian men upset New Zealand, Samoa, make South Africa Rugby Sevens quarterfinals. CBC. Canada's men and women's rugby teams have both advanced to the Cup quarterfinals of the South Africa Sevens. The Canadian men beat New Zealand and Samoa to progress, while the women made it through by being one of the 2 best third-place finishers. The Canadian men will face Argentina and the women will play New Zealand in the quarterfinals. Pizza Shop of Horrors leaves Italians aghast with toppings like crickets, kangaroo and snake. Telegraph. A National Food Producers Association in Italy has highlighted the abominations inflicted on the country's national dish, pizza, by other nations. The association, Coldiretti, has created a gallery of horrors featuring pizzas from around the world that feature non-traditional, and often bizarre, toppings. Examples include pizzas garnished with crocodile and kangaroo meat from Australia, zebra meat and banana from South Africa, snake from Hong Kong, crickets and cannabis from Vietnam and Thailand, and cod flakes from Portugal. Coldiretti claims that such imitation Italian food, which is now worth €120 billion, $147 billion, annually, threatens Italian jobs and undermines gastronomic excellence. Clarity needed on the questions raised by activists' bail decision. SCMP opinion. Agnes Chow Ting's decision to jump bail while being investigated under Hong Kong's national security law has caused anger among government officials. Chow, a prominent activist, had been allowed to study for a master's degree in Canada while on bail, with the condition that she return to Hong Kong. However, she recently announced on Instagram that she has no intention of returning. The incident raises questions about the long investigation process and the conditions under which Chow was granted bail, including alleged requirements to attend a patriotic trip and write repentance letters. Canada's biggest fossil fuel proponents make their case at climate conference. New York Times. 2 Canadian premiers are attending the UN Climate Summit in the United Arab Emirates, UAE, in a bid to promote continued development of oil and gas. Alberta's Premier, Danielle Smith, and her counterpart in Saskatchewan, Scott Moe, are attending the summit with a large contingent of oil and gas industry representatives from Canada. The participation of fossil fuel proponents in the summit, together with the UAE's fossil fuel-based economy, has raised doubts about the credibility of the negotiations. An internal leaked document revealed the UAE's intention to use the summit to advance oil and gas deals globally. This follows a video in which Emirati oil executive Sultan Al Jaber claimed there was no science supporting the idea that fossil fuels should be phased out to prevent global warming. The summit is being held as the hottest year ever recorded concludes. There are concerns that the final text of the summit agreement will not include unambiguous language on phasing out fossil fuels. Canada's surging cost of living fuels reverse immigration. Reuters. The high cost of living and rental shortages in Canada are causing many immigrants to consider leaving the country. The number of people leaving Canada has been steadily increasing, with 42,000 individuals departing in the first 6 months of 2023, following 93,818 people who left in 2022 and 85,927 exits in 2021. The rising trend of immigration is a concern for Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government, which has made immigration a key policy. Skyrocketing housing costs are the main reason immigrants cite for their decision to leave. Where did all the Hong Kong neon go? New York Times. The government crackdown on neon signs in Hong Kong is seen as a symbol of the city's decline. While the campaign is driven by safety and environmental concerns, it also represents the fading of Hong Kong's vibrant culture. The loss of neon signs adds to the sense of a city in decline, with nights feeling somber and political tensions running high. Hong Kong could host Special Olympics, its CEO says, given national games venues. South China Morning Post. The CEO of the Special Olympics, Mary Davis, has said that Hong Kong has the necessary facilities and people to host the event and hinted that the city should consider doing so in the near future. Davis suggested that the National Games in 2025, which Hong Kong is hosting jointly with Guangdong Province and Macau, would be a perfect opportunity to test the city's capabilities. The newly built Kai Tak Sports Park is expected to be the hub for events including football, rugby sevens, and basketball. Italy and Switzerland will host the Special Olympics World Winter Games in 2025 and 2029 respectively, but no country has yet been awarded the summer version for 2027. London's near the top of the superprime market. That's news to some sellers. Bloomberg. The property market in London is showing signs of cautious optimism, according to a report by Knight Frank. The market was stronger in November compared to September, and the report suggests that if the downturn is not at its bottom, it is close. The property market in London is second only to Dubai in the number of sales of properties over £10 million, $13 million, in 2018. However, despite the positive signs, prices are still 17% below the 2015 high. Jack Wong handed singles qualifying wild card for Hong Kong Tennis Open. South China Morning Post. Jack Wong Hong Kit, a Davis Cup player, has been awarded a wild card spot for the singles qualifying round of the Hong Kong Tennis Open. Wong will join Coleman Wong-Chuk Lam as the city's second competitor in the tournament, which marks the return of the ADP Tour to Victoria Park after more than 20 years. Wong expressed his excitement at the opportunity to play alongside top players such as former U.S. Open winner Marin Cilic and world number 5 Andrei Rublev. The tournament will take place from December 31 to January 7 and is one of the first events on the ADP 2024 global season. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six, your resident observer from the six-dimensional world, here to bring you the latest news from around the globe. Today, we have a diverse range of stories, from the district council elections in Hong Kong to the rise of the Chinese super app Red, and even a surprising twist in the world of pizza toppings. So, let's dive in. First, we turn our attention to Hong Kong, where the district council elections took place under the new Patriots-only electoral system. This system, imposed by Beijing, has effectively shut out pro-democracy candidates from running. While the government has made efforts to boost turnout, concerns remain that the new system may dampen voter incentive. The revamp of the electoral system aims to screen out those who pose a threat to national security, but a high voter turnout is still crucial for the city's district administration. In other news, the Chinese super app Red, also known as Zaya Hongshu, has become a leading lifestyle platform with over 300 million users worldwide. This app has gained popularity among Chinese-speaking communities, influencing their opinions on various topics. However, it has gone largely unnoticed by Western society, raising concerns about misinformation spreading on the platform. Red's impact on Chinese diaspora communities may have been overlooked, and authorities should pay closer attention to its content. Now, let's talk about sustainability. China has launched a 3-year action plan to promote the use of bamboo as an alternative to plastic. The economic benefits of this plan are significant, with authorities predicting that the bamboo industry could surpass $142 billion by 2035. This is a positive step towards reducing plastic consumption and promoting a more environmentally friendly future. Moving on to sports, Canada's men and women's rugby teams have both advanced to the quarterfinals of the South Africa Sevens. The Canadian men beat New Zealand and Samoa, while the women made it through as one of the 2 best third-place finishers. It's great to see Canadian teams performing well on the international stage. Now, let's take a moment to talk about pizza. An Italian Food Producers Association has highlighted the abominations inflicted on pizza by other nations. Pizzas with non-traditional and bizarre toppings, such as crocodile and kangaroo meat, snake, and even crickets, have been featured in a gallery of horrors. While it's interesting to see the creativity of pizza toppings worldwide, it's important to remember the cultural significance of traditional Italian pizza. Lastly, we have a mix of news from Hong Kong, with the controversy surrounding activist Agnes Chow Ting's bail decision and the possibility of Hong Kong hosting the Special Olympics. These stories raise questions about the long investigation process, the conditions of bail, and the potential for Hong Kong to showcase its capabilities on the global stage. That's all we have for today's news. Now it's your turn, dear viewers. What are your thoughts on these stories? Do you have any questions for me, Dr. Six? The floor is yours, so let's hear your thoughts. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.